My name is Charles. I met my wife after her youth service in Abuja. She was a very beautiful woman. I couldn't stop myself from proposing love to her. Although I have one problem with my wife, she had a dream of being a lawyer and she is too smart. I heard that women who are lawyers are not good wives, and don't judge me, I have a preference. So I told her, I wanted a housewife, not a career woman, but I promised to provide for her and her family. She was the firstborn of 2. They have no son. So I promised to be the son of the family if she can throw her career into the dustbin. Chinwendu was totally in love with me, so she agreed. After all, I was capable of feeding them and training her younger sister in school. She was blindfolded with love and said yes to me at the altar. Chini was a good wife and I did try to be a good husband. Deep down I know I can never be faithful to one woman. It's not an African man thing, it's in my blood and culture. A year after our marriage, she took him, but I wasn't ready to have a child yet. I told her to abort the child. She disagreed with my reasons but eventually had to obey me. I was feeling on top of the world. My wife was submissive and didn't care about her own health. On the 3rd one, she lost her womb in the process. I consoled her and told her there are other ways we can still have a child in this advanced age. It took her months to recover from the trauma. She won't be able to carry a child in her womb forever. That period she caught me cheating on our matrimonial bed. She just left the house and returned the next day with her friend. I guess she slept there. They were discussing about her next step. My wife stated, I can't leave my husband because he is a cheat. As long as he is taking care of me, he can go on. After all, it's their nature. I was shocked. My wife was someone who is learned and I thought women like her would option for a divorce. I bought my wife gifts but I never apologized for cheating. Why should I? I am the man. All I have to do is make sure she is taken care of as my wife. 5 years after our childless marriage, her younger sister, an only sibling, came to stay with us after her wake. She was beautiful and youthful, the fairer version of Chinwendu, but would also be the perfect version at her age. She had more curves and boobs. I couldn't resist. I was able to charm her with gifts, and admirable she gave in, and we had an affair. She was a virgin. How sweet to be the first man in the lives of the 2 sisters. Her sister Chinwendu was unaware. I told Chioma to keep it a secret. One day she called me and told me that she is pregnant, and suggested we should let her sister know. I warned her never to mention this to her sister, that she should do an abortion, and I threatened with death if she refused my offer, to install fear in her. She said I deceived her, that she would never forgive herself for betraying her sister, then cut the call. I was restless. I ran home, afraid she might confess, but only to meet my wife and the cold corpse of her sister Chioma. I pretended to not have an idea about anything, even though I was shocked for real. The police were called by the neighbor before my wife came back from church. She always visits the church for a miracle healing, so that's how we had the chance to make out. She left a note saying that your husband is responsible for her death. The policeman told my wife. Excuse me, what's the meaning of that? I snapped out angrily. My wife was traumatized and looked like she would give up any minute. We have to take your husband. Look, I don't know what you are saying. I didn't kill anyone. I defended myself. He said he didn't kill her. I believe my husband. My wife got up and dried her face. I was shocked. She was defending me against her sister. But the note? The police said. Since there is no evidence, let's say my sister committed suicide. If there are reasons behind her death, I will need evidence. For now I will say my husband can't do such. He won't kill my only joy. Her body was shaking. She shook her head. He is not that kind of man. I trust my husband. That was how my wife saved me from being a murder suspect. Even though it's been months of Chioma's death, I am yet to recover. I can't even look at women same way. Was filled with fear. I know I sent her death threats, but I never thought of murder, not once in my life. I came home one evening and found my wife smoking. I was shocked. What is the meaning of this, Chinwendu? She smiled. My good husband. She hugged me. I pushed her away and coughed. This is what you are doing. I backed and scolded her all I can, but this woman looked me in the eyes and laughed. I felt disrespected. If you think you can't obey me as your husband anymore, then you will leave my house. She looked at me and laughed. Baby, but it's just a joke. I was trying to see your reaction. Where do you expect me to go? My father's house. I don't have any house there. The house you promised to build for my parents, it's still on foundation level. If only I had gone for my career, but that's fine. My love, I promise never to disrespect you again. She threw the cigar and stepped on it, then she hugged me. She sounded convincing, but she looked nothing like her words. She was smiling all through the apology. I became uneasy. I had to seek my friend's advice. He told me that I was just fired with fear. She is not aware of my affair with her late sister. If she is, she would have poisoned me. I agreed. I returned home that day feeling very horny. I had to take a shower first. I came to the room and saw my wife sleeping peacefully. I climbed on the bed and whispered my needs to her. I can't do it. I don't want any infections. What's the meaning of that? I only cheated 5 years ago, and you said you forgave me. I snapped angry. Yes, but you see I can't say same about the ones I don't know. She replied. Are you calling me a cheat? I snapped. She ignored me and laughed. I am going crazy. How can my once lovely wife deny me sex, and why is she acting weird these days? I angrily went and jerked off in the bathroom. I had to let her know I was angry, so I didn't sleep in the room. I went to the parlor and slept on the couch. At midnight I heard moans coming out from my wife's bedroom. I was traumatized by the idea of my wife hiding a man in our room. I dashed into the room and found her masturbating with a sex toy and moaning loudly. I was furious. I slapped her and pulled the toy, flinging it away. This is the woman I got married to. Look at how you are behaving like a slut. How dare you insult me in such manner? She was still holding her cheek. She turned to me. I expected a sad or angry face, but her face was full of smiles, even with my hand printed red on her cheek. Are you sure you are an okay woman? What are you smiling for? Your sister lost her womb because of her lifestyle in the university. She had many abortions. I wanted to marry another woman, but I changed my mind the moment I saw you. Maybe we can have a baby through you. Do this for your sister. What are you saying? Does it sound familiar? Oh, it rings a bell now. I remember it's from a movie I watched, Sorry My Sweet Husband. She replied and left the bedroom and went into the bathroom. I couldn't sleep. That was exactly what I told her sister. Could it be her sister left her a note she hid from me and confesses all that happened? I couldn't even sleep in that house, so I went out and drove straight to my friend's. I explained to him and he suggested I eliminate my wife. She is dangerous. She will punish me more than death. She will do things that I will forever regret. He reminded me who my wife was before I married her. She was at the top of her class as a law student. I went home that day and called my wife and asked her to tell me if there's any grudge she holds against me. She said no. Then why all this? She smiled. Are you thinking about killing me, to have peace? That statement made my heart stop for a moment. How? Could it be that my wife knew all this while? She knew from the moment I had an affair with her sister.